In May of 1975, Cadillac released the Seville. Now, this was a departure from the regular full-size Cadillacs. It was midsize, and it was made to compete against Mercedes and BMW and the other luxury sedans that were coming out of Europe. The Seville was based on the Chevy Nova chassis. It became the smallest and also most expensive car in Cadillac's lineup, and it was somewhat successful.
What are we going to do?
In what can be described as a knee-jerk reaction, Lincoln grabbed a Mercury Monarch Ghia, which was the top-of-the-line Monarch, which was really a Granada, slapped on some Lincoln styling cues, and named it after a palace in France. Yes, today we are going to finally take a look at the Lincoln Versailles. My question is, would this be a car that the American public would embrace, like the Seville, or would this be something they would ultimately reject? In April of 1977, the new Lincoln Versailles was introduced as a mid-year model and only as a sedan. Lincoln took a Versailles to the Windows on the World restaurant at the top of the World Trade Center in order to introduce the car in print ads. The front of the Versailles featured the Rolls-Royce inspired grille that was common to other Lincolns at the time. It featured 4 side-by-side rectangular halogen headlamps above the turn signal indicators, and it was the first time a Ford product featured halogen headlamps. The sides, doors, roofline, and quarter panels were unmistakably taken from the Granada Monarch line, and the Versailles also shared its wheelbase. At the rear of the car was the faux tire bump deck lid, which was unique to the Versailles. The power plant for the Versailles was the 135 horsepower, 351 cubic inch V8, unless you purchased one in California. Then you receive the 133 horsepower, 302 cubic inch V8 due to smog requirements. Both engines were mated to Ford's C4 3-speed automatic transmission. The Versailles rode on the same unibody as the Granada and Monarch and used the same independent coil spring front suspension and rear leaf spring suspension. However, Lincoln stated that the Versailles front suspension used a new low-friction lower ball joints and double isolated shock absorbers. The steering shaft had a specially designed flex coupling to prevent vibrations from being transmitted to the steering wheel. The Versailles was loaded up with standard features, such as a base coat clear coat finish, 4-wheel power disc brakes, power steering and windows, tinted glass, interval wipers, automatic parking brake release, steel-belted radial tires, a 60-amp alternator, bumper guards, forged aluminum wheels, a center pillar coach lamp and cornering lamps, remote mirrors, wide body side moldings, bright wheel lip and rocker moldings, a padded vinyl roof and French rear window, a 4-way power seat, an AM/FM MPX 4-speaker stereo with power antenna, illuminated visor mirrors, a Cartier digital clock, a leather-covered instrument panel, armrest and steering wheel, and cut glass instrument panel lenses. Optional items included leather seating surfaces, an AM/FM MPX Quadrasonic 8-track tape deck, 2-tone paint, a power moonroof, a remote garage door opener, an electric rear window defroster, power locks, a tilt wheel, a floor-mounted shifter, and a traction lock axle. The automotive press mostly praised the Versailles. Car and Driver stated it doesn't stray from the Main Street of Detroit thinking. Lincoln chose to improve a widely acceptable automobile, the Mercury Monarch, to a degree associated with luxury cars. The Versailles is really a quieter, more luxurious Monarch, and that is its strength. The American public, however, balked at the most expensively priced sedan in Lincoln's lineup. Lincoln priced the Versailles at $11,500, which would equate to over $60,000 in 2024. Lincoln dealers delivered 15,434 Versailles for the 9-month run in 1977. 1978 was mostly a carryover year for the Versailles. Lincoln dropped the 351 cubic inch V8 as its standard engine and replaced it with the 302 V8 and its variable Venturi carburetor. A new option was the 40-channel CB radio. Lincoln's marketing pushed a new level of computerized testing that every Versailles went through prior to final assembly. None of this, however, moved the sales meter. Lincoln dealers delivered only 8,931 Versailles for the 1978 model year.
The pride of owning a Lincoln distilled to a 110-inch wheelbase. The pleasure of driving in luxury.
And now, each Versailles offers a choice of 3 roof designs. Until you experience the Lincoln Versailles, we think the best is yet to come.
Come the day you're mine.
1979 brought a model revision with a new roof line for the Versailles. Working directly with the American Sunroof Company, Lincoln was able to develop a fiberglass cap for the roof and new rear door windows that gave the Versailles a new appearance. This new look required a Landau roof become a standard feature. Lincoln added a leather-wrapped floor console to the option list, an AM/FM cassette player, and an illuminated outside thermometer mounted below the driver's side mirror. All of this did have a positive effect on sales. Lincoln delivered 21,007 Versailles for the 1979 model year. 1980 would be the last year for the Versailles, and it was a complete carryover year. This had as much to do with Ford discontinuing the Granada and Mercury Monarch as it did with the underperforming sales numbers of the Versailles. Lincoln dealers delivered only 4,784 Versailles for the 1980 model year. Lincoln sold just over 50,000 Versailles during its 4-year run, yet the Cadillac Seville sold 50,000 cars almost each and every year. Yes, I know the Versailles was based on a Granada, which was based on a Falcon. However, the Seville was based on a Nova, so it's not as if it was a custom-built luxury car. The thing is, the Seville looked nothing like the Nova, whereas the Versailles almost looked exactly like a Granada, and I think that's where this car fell short. If you're going to try to sell the American public a luxury car, it has to look like a luxury car. It can't look like an economy car that was half its price.
What do you take us for, huh? Idiots?
Now, before you go away thinking that Cadillac was outsmarting Lincoln at every turn back in this time period, I want to point out it was only a couple of years later when they rolled out the Cadillac Cimarron, which was the most expensive Chevy Cavalier ever produced. That car, too, suffered low sales numbers for a number of years until it was discontinued. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. That helps other folks see it. Also, please consider subscribing. I have a lot of content like this on the channel, like this video right over here. It's on the original Ford Granada. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll see you.